So Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp, it sounds so salacious, right? And that's exactly the way this is intended. After all, the media has suggested in no uncertain terms that Brad Pitt, he has vowed to play dirty when it comes to all of this stuff. And how exactly do you think that plays out? The interesting thing is this doesn't come from the media. Oh no, it comes from someone that used to be very close to Johnny Depp, someone that would want fingers pointed away from them and pointed at Depp at this time. And they'll do anything, and I mean anything, to make that happen. Remember, too, we have seen the Hollywood name game brought up in association with Leonardo DiCaprio. We have seen Channing Tatum. We have seen James Franco, Paul Bettany. We've seen Jim Sturgis, and on and on and on. The thing is that Brad Pitt, there's a reason that he would be brought up. And that reason, it would potentially put Johnny Depp in the hot seat. And like I said, if he's in the hot seat, then somebody else isn't. So hey there to all you wonderful folks, by the way. I hope you're having a great time, and I hope your holidays are going smoothly. Today, you and I, we are returning to that wonderful, wonderful world of media. And we're talking about this. I want to make something abundantly clear. I am not, and I want everyone to catch that word there, not stating that Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp had any type of relationship other than professional. In fact, I think the opposite. If they did have a relationship like that, it would have showcased in their press junkets. But if you look at pictures like this, well, look at the two together. There's not a hint of impropriety. And if there was, the media, the tabloids, they would have been all over it back then. But they weren't all over it back then. They're all over it now. Now, as far as Brad Pitt versus Johnny Depp goes, I'll get to that in just a moment. But in order to get there, I need to explain how all of this came up, who exactly brought this stuff up, why exactly this would be beneficial, why Angelina Jolie herself is brought up, and how that associates with Brad Pitt, and how Johnny Depp works into it too. Now, if you're wondering why this is getting so much ink right now, well, first let's talk about why, and that it has two parts. The first part is because a certain nameless party out there, one we're going to see a lot more of in 2021, requested, quote unquote, all responsive communications from a number of exes and a number of stars, including Angelina Jolie, Keira Knightley, and on. The second part of that, it goes to the Hollywood Reporter, because the Hollywood Reporter, they didn't add in stars and on. They added in words like this: former romantic partner. They're the ones that attach that label. And you can see that go around. You can see people asking, hey, do you think that these people know that when they were out there, they were starring with this guy, that they were actually dating him too? Now, as far as this media coverage goes too, you have to remember a couple of things. Number one, 85% or more of people, they're just headline readers. They'll see the headline, they'll assume something was there. And even if they go beyond headlines, most people, they only go in for high points. If you look at this high point too, it's lifted straight from an article. I want to show you how duplicitous this is. Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp, they starred in The Tourist together in 2010. Here's where it gets interesting. So they're implying that they're going to get interesting right below the article, continuing with some advertisement. They say Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie have only filmed one movie together, The Tourist, which premiered in 2010. Now we're going to get to the salacious tidbits, right? Well, that depends on how salacious you find things like, compliments. This is literally how this continues, by the way. Quote, as previously mentioned, Jolie and Pitt were together from 2006 to 2016. Many of them have brought that date up too, because of a certain other party in 2016, which means they were totally still a couple at the time Jolie and Depp starred in The Tourist together. While there were no obvious hints at a romantic relationship between the two at the time, Depp and Jolie spoke highly of one another on their press tour for their film. So no obvious signs, but they spoke highly of one another, so that proves something has to be there. She's kind of a walking poem, Angelina. Depp said in an interview at the time, she's this perfect beauty, but at the same time, very deep, very smart, very quick, very clever, and very funny. She also has a very perverse sense of humor. Yeah, she's great fun. Depp also called Jolie a quote-unquote enchantress, adding that she's quote-unquote an unbelievably beautiful, cultured vixen. Oh my God, he also called her an enchant. So with that whole lot of nothing fresh in your mind, I want to ask you a question that kept troubling me. Why is the media fixated on one name, Angelina Jolie? Is it name recognition? Is it reputation? Or is it something more? Now, in order to understand this, you have to go all the way back to September the 28th, to look at a post by Adam Waldman, who is the longtime legal representative of Johnny Depp. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I just want to make a point. But to make this point, I need to explain just a little bit here. See, this post, what Adam Waldman is showing you is Powers Court. You can see them named here. What they're doing is they're leaking documentation to the media. And beyond that, the worst part, they're telling them what their narrative about this should be. The media, they pick up on that too. They report it just the same way that they're told to report it, telling you they're not a neutral party, they're not a biased party, they're an active participant in this, and what they're doing when they're actively participating is they're doing harm. Now, taking that idea, a media that is willing to do harm, you have sources created, literal creation out of the blue that say things like this. This is a major nightmare for Angelina in so many ways, not least because her outrageous past is coming back to bite her in the butt. She and Johnny were so coy about their white-hot connection at the time, even though their romance was an open secret. They got lucky because no one had the smoking gun on it. The source said. Again, not neutral, not biased, but willing to do harm. It's not just aimed at Angelina either. Brad Pitt, he sees this stuff. His name is associated with this. There is a contentious battle going on between those folks, and they're trying to get Johnny Depp involved. And you tell me who exactly is behind that. Now, what's especially insidious about this, and the reason I think that a certain nameless party would bring it up, is because it's high stakes. And also, this is salacious as far as the media is concerned. See, if you look at this portion here, I'm going to read you a little bit more, but Angelina Jolie is actually at risk of losing the custody of her children. And vice versa, you're talking about Brad Pitt possibly losing custody of his children as well. Quote, since Jolie and Pitt are still fighting over the custody of their children, the former is allegedly worried that the cheating scandal will lessen her chances of winning the case. Quote, the last thing Angelina Jolie needs to be cross-examined about is a relationship with Johnny, not least because she was with Brad at the time. There's talk that certain nameless party that was with Depp was kind of obsessed with Angie, so Jolie's central to the plot line, whether she likes it or not. So with regard to reputation, other sources, they bring this up too. They bring up her reputation or her image as a mother. They bring up her reputation or her image as a humanitarian. And they say that Angelina Jolie is terrified that all of this stuff, it could shatter her image as both. And you think about this, it doesn't take proof to actually do damage. You've probably learned that by now with Johnny Depp. You've seen that in the UK. You've seen it through the tabloids. You've seen it through the media and on. So many people actually believe something, whether or not there's any shred of it. And having Johnny Depp pulled out there, having him have to appear in the courtroom, that's something that I could see happening. And I could see that happening big time. Now, as far as Brad Pitt's portion of this is concerned, that source, it pops up again. But you know what? I actually do believe certain things about this. I believe the man would fight dirty. I believe that because, again, kids are on the line. He's seen his reputation in tatters. And you know what? It's been pretty dirty the other way. So, turnabout, again, is fair play. Quote, Brad Pitt has ammunition against Angelina Jolie. Now that the actress is being accused of having an affair with Johnny Depp, Pitt allegedly sees this as an opportunity to try to win the custody of his kids. Things are finally looking up for Brad. The actor is looking forward to the new year and new developments in the custody fight with Angie, the source said. Remember that with the source. The insider also said that Pitt is taking a page out of Jolie's own playbook because she has been playing dirty. Jolie, and she has definitely done that. We've seen his reputation dragged through the mud, so I don't think he would have problems with doing that. Continuing, he sees an opportunity with this Johnny Depp affair, and he's going to take advantage of it. If Angie cheated on him with Johnny, like the shocking court papers seem to reveal, Brad might have a chance to finally change the narrative. He'll finally be able to get this word here, notice this word, revenge, the source said. Revenge. That's what it would be about, but also, again, about those other portions and how far would a person go. Now, in my opinion, that's been the game plan all along, making someone quote-unquote radioactive, and that stuff, it's been associated in many different ways. You have anger, for example, coming from people like Leonardo DiCaprio, coming from the Channing Taters, coming from the James Francos. You saw the words that were brought up, those things, they were meant to do damage in their own ways. You saw the exes brought up too. You see the pressure put on them, because if you drag them through the ringer, who would ever want to deal with that? And that's the same thing you see with an Angelina Jolie. That works as an object lesson. At the other side of that, too, you have Brad Pitt being weaponized. A very real chance of Brad Pitt being weaponized. And that, it not only works for the media because it's salacious, but that person out there, they need that to happen. They need fingers pointing in another direction, because right now, well, check out my last video. Look at the ratioing to it. That, it says plenty. But anyway, I'm curious what you think about this. Let me know in the comments. And as always, I appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff possible. And I hope your year was great. And I hope 2021, I hope you ring that thing in with a blast. If you want to help out the channel in different ways, too, there are links in the description. There are many of them. You can check that out. I hope you'll check them out, too. But like I said, as always, appreciate the heck out of you. And yeah, we'll see you soon.